Welcome back to the Arise interview, where we speak to the newsmakers as well as ordinary people doing extraordinary things around the world and featuring the voices at the heart of the stories. I'm Charles Aniegolu. Now let's talk about the youth in politics in Nigeria. Whereas in the First Republic, a large number of politicians were reasonably young, with many in their 20s, 30s and 40s. Today, most are well into their 60s and 70s. And yet the youth are arguably the change makers Nigeria needs to move forward, people below the age of 35. But there aren't that many today who are leaving the footprints of political change in their communities. Turned off by the stereotypes of youth recklessness, they've all branched off into other persuasions, leaving politics to the elderly. But these days, especially following the End SARS protests, there are growing calls for Nigeria's political system to be more representative of the youth. Well, the likes of my next guest have answered that call. At the age of 34, Honourable Mathias Aliu is the Deputy Majority Leader at the Abuja Municipal Area Council and the councillor representing the ward of Wuse in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory. So what difference is he making, and is his political voice being heard? Well, for more on this, I'm delighted to say that Honourable Mathias Aliu joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, how did you get into politics? I mean, you're reasonably young at the moment, but you've already kind of moved up the pecking order, haven't you?
Yes. I've had a passion for politics ever since I was a kid, because I'm someone that cares about people around me. So when I was young, then it was the military regime. So I told my father that I wanted to go into NDA, that's the Nigerian Defense Academy. But before, when I was going to go into secondary school, then we lost Abacha. Then I was aware that we're going to come back into democracy. I now said I was not going to go into NDA anymore. I was going to go to a normal school because I have a dream to become a politician.
So like a typical Nigerian politician, you switched sides.
I switched sides, yes.
I like that. So you were going to be a military politician.
Yes.
But then you decided to become a civilian politician.
Not really a military. I just wanted to be a leader. I wanted to be a leader.
Right, okay. So because there's a difference between
Yes.
leadership
Yes.
and politics.
Yes.
Right, okay. And how did you then get to, I mean, you obviously ran for elections and all of that. How did you kind of evolve to that stage?
Okay, when APC was coming to government 2015, so then I was already in politics, but I now keyed in because the ideology of APC was very interesting to me, because I was someone that was not happy with the way the country was moving. So I now keyed into the APC, and in 2016 I contested for the councillorship position. I lost then at the primaries, but subsequently in 2019 I was elected.
Well, that's brilliant. Congratulations, and for your tenacity and persistence. How important is it for young people to participate in politics in Nigeria?
I think it's very important, because the population today, we the young people are more in the society, and the young people are going through a lot of issues, like the unemployment rate. You see young people that are done from school after how many years they're still with their parents and all that. It's frustrating. So we the young people need to come into politics, because we are the ones that understand the pains of our fellow youths, and also the parents, our parents too, because we are the ones that are with them. So I believe when youths come into politics, there are a lot of changes we could make.
And what changes have you made?
I, as a councillor, there are little I can do, because I am on the legislative part of the government.
Right.
So with the little resources that come to me, I try to touch my people. I try to go to the grassroots, because we are at the grassroots. I touch them in little ways, like scholarship, for example. There are people in my ward that don't have money to take their kids to school. We try to help them. There are people that do small-scale businesses. We try to support them. Like, since I became a councillor, I've had some empowerment programs. The last time I empowered about 250 people in skills acquisitions, and they were very happy, and we also supported them with cash.
But that sounds quite ad hoc. I mean, it doesn't sound systematic. It sounds like, things you do here and there.
Yeah.
Tell us about your work as a councillor representing Wuse Ward in Abuja. What does your work entail?
My work schedule is, as a councillor, I am the representative of my people at the local government. Whatever problem my people have at the ward level, I am the one to go to the local government to go and inform the chairman that these are the issues of my people. So I am their representative.
Right, okay. So you essentially liaise between the people. That means you have to obviously have a lot of meetings with them and so on. And what are the issues that concern them?
You know, right now, for example, my ward is in the city, you know, at the city center, Wuse.
Well, Wuse too is behind us here.
So most of the issues we have in Wuse, you know, we have roads, we have everything. So sometimes maybe they might have issues of transformers or issues of because we have a lot of retirees. Because if you go, for example, to zone 1, zone 2, you look at the high risings, most of those people are people that probably they were drivers before, or they were doing some kind of civil service work, and right now they are out of government and they find it difficult to leave, you know. So they try to come to me for little assistance. Like during the COVID-19 period, the Minister of FCT gave us palliatives to distribute round to our people, and we took it. I made sure that it went round everyone in Wuse, and they were very happy about that. So these are the things we do.
But of course, Wuse, as you said, is in the city.
Yes.
I mean, that's the place where you've got all the nightclubs and things, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you want, that's where people sort of go to have a bit of a groove there. But that makes your job easier because there's less to do in the city. Is that right?
Yes, it makes my job easier.
Right. Do you think young people are disengaged from political processes in Nigeria?
Yes, I think young people are disengaged because they don't carry us along. You know, sometimes you see our leaders.
But they let you in.
Yeah, they let me in, but if you look at the amount of young people in politics, it's very little. How many are we? We need more youths to be involved. For example, the other day, the Oni of Ife, they had a town hall meeting or so. All the leaders were there, and it was like, we're here discussing same issues over and over. But all these issues concerns the youth. But where are the youths inside this place? So you can understand. So we need them to involve us. And if they involve us, I'm telling you, we'll make sure that a lot of things are changed.
But is it them involving you, or is it young people not really being interested? I mean, I'm wondering what the obstacles are that prevent young people from getting into politics. I mean, as I said, is it that they're just not interested? Because, I mean, to be honest, I remember when I was in my teen and 20s, I found the whole idea of politics quite boring.
It's not like they are not involved or they don't want to get into politics. Sometimes the resources, many young people don't have the opportunity. They don't have the resources to come into politics.
Yeah, but do they have the interest to come into politics?
Yeah, there are lots of people that have the interest. For example, some of them start going into politics when they're in school, you know, they're SUG president and all that. But when they come into the real society, they find it difficult to try to key into the system. So those of us that are here were opportuned. It's not, we didn't get it easy. We had to struggle our way in. And sometimes most youths, they might not have that zeal to struggle. But I can tell you that a lot of them are interested in coming into the system.
So what was it about politics that made you want to be part of it?
Why I wanted to be part of politics, because I understood that for me to be able to touch people's life, because I have a passion to touch people's life, I need to be in the system where I can make a lot of changes through policies. As an individual, there's just a little I can do to help people. But if I get to the system and I know tomorrow I'm somewhere very powerful, I know there are a lot of changes I can make with my office. So that's exactly why I'm here today as a politician.
Right, so you're a councillor now. What's next?
Everybody in every career, you always dream to get to the peak of your career. So I believe I want to get higher and higher in politics.
Yeah, but what's the next step?
The next step, there are lots of positions. In the local government, you can be a chairman. You can be in the state, you can be a state house of assembly member, you can be a senator, a governor, a president. So we just want to keep on moving forward. That's the dream.
Right. And you mentioned the fact that there is a measure of disengagement of young people from politics. Has that disengagement led to them having little or no voice or influence in decisions that affect their lives?
A lot, because most of these youths now, because of what is happening with them, you know, many of them have even been frustrated. You know, many of the youths are going into drugs and all that. For example, anytime I go into any forum, I always tell people, Nigeria needs to start enlightening the younger ones coming out about drug education. Because most of our youths today, they are victims of circumstances. You know, when they don't have anything to do, they are idle and all that. They now get into different kinds of habits that, at the end of the day, destroys them. That's why we're having all this insecurity today, kidnapping and all that. So these are just issues.
Right, but you must have some young people that you deal with in your constituency. How do you deal with them?
Yeah, we have young people. From time to time, we call a fora.
Right.
We all come together, we all sit down, and they all raise their concerns and tell me what their problems are, and in any little way I can do, assist them, I also do. And when it's over my power, I take the report to the local government chairman, and he also comes in, and that's the way.
And what do they say to you their problems are?
Sometimes their problems are, oh, we need a job, we don't have what we're doing, we're idle. This is exactly what the problems of the youth are right now.
And what do you say to them in those circumstances?
In the little way we can assist them. If sometimes maybe the chairman might say, oh, there's a slot for a job somewhere, we can now key one or two of them in. And sometimes when we can't do anything, I just encourage them. I tell them, see, just have hope. Just try to get something doing. Think about how you can make yourself useful, because in Nigeria today, to get a job is really difficult. So think of how you can make yourself useful. So I just encourage them and try to just be there for them as a leader.
And does it concern you that the political party that you're affiliated with, which is the APC, and to some extent has the primary responsible to provide jobs, isn't doing that?
Yeah, the APC has the responsibility, but you know, all over the world, if you look at it now, you know, the economic challenges coupled with COVID-19 and all that, so jobs are not really easy to come by these days, you know. So they have their own part to play, and I believe the APC have done a lot also to try to empower the youths with money trade and a lot of kind of social programs that this president has brought into for the youths.
Right, and those social programs are touching people in your constituency?
They are touching people, yes, in my not only my constituency, all over Nigeria.
Right, but I mean, beyond sort of young people being politically apathetic, as we said, I mean, you know, it's fairly common knowledge that a lot of young people, I mean, it's not just young people, I mean, they're not alone in being apathetic. Is there a sense that many of them are too immature to be included in decision making?
Nah, they are not immature. Young people are making waves all over the world. Look at world leaders in other countries, they are young people. Leadership is not about age, it's about the people around you, because as a leader, what you do is your team that matters. When you have a good team, that's when you succeed. You delegate and the people outside there go and do the work. So it's not about age or immaturity, no. We are not just been given the opportunity.
Okay, please stay with us. We want to talk with you a little bit more. You're watching the Arise interview. Plenty more still ahead as we continue our chat with councillor Mathias Aliu, a young political change maker who is pushing the case for more youth involvement in Nigerian politics. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Charles Enyegolu. Now, one of the abiding realities of Nigerian politics is that young voters rarely participate actively in elections. They talk about what they'd like to see happen, but many don't bother to register and actually vote. And that's because many feel that they don't have much of a stake in Nigerian society and that their votes simply won't count. But observers say there are signs this could change in 2023, with several polls showing a higher level of interest among young voters in the wake of the End SARS protests. One online survey suggested this was because young people were deeply dissatisfied with their elected representatives and were therefore unusually motivated to vote in 2023. So, as we approach the presidential elections, what are the issues that matter most to young voters? And the young politician, Mathias Aliu, Deputy Majority Leader at the Abuja Municipal Area Council and councillor representing Wuse Ward in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, is still with me in the studio. Thank you for staying with us.
Mr. Charles.
So what are the big issues that are going to be affecting young people? What are they thinking about with the elections coming up in 2023?
The big issues is one, what I'm really concerned about. Most youths are now not having confidence in the leadership, and right now many of them don't want to get themselves involved because they believe their voice is not going to be heard. But I also advise the youths that, see, they should believe, they should have hope in Nigeria. They should come out en masse to come and vote. They should go and get their voters registration.
And that is actually what will change the leadership
this is what
that they
going
want,
to change,
because
yes.
They've got the demographic strength, don't they? I mean,
we have it,
yeah.
with the youths, because if we the youth say we want someone, we win, because even our parents, they are going to support what every parent wants to see their children happy. So what we tell our parents to do, that's what they are going to key into. So the youths really need to know that they have the power to change all what they are clamoring for Nigeria.
So based on what you're seeing so far, because obviously you're talking to a lot of people, you're communicating with your constituents and other people in your sort of age bracket, who do you think will inherit President Buhari's mantle of leadership? Will it be someone relatively young or another gerontocrat who's over 65?
What I think about that is that what we, the youth, are more interested about is who is going to give us good leadership.
Right.
Who is going to be the one to take Nigeria to the next level? Who is going to be the one?
So it doesn't really matter who it is.
It doesn't really matter. We just need the quality.
And what do politicians like yourself at your stage think of all this talk about power shift? Do you think it should be a dominant topic of discussion in political circles as it is now, whether power should shift from the north to the south, or what should happen?
I think as a Nigerian, what we want capability, but at the same time, everybody should be treated fairly. Everybody should be carried along. That is what I feel about that.
Right. So in that respect, what do you feel about the whole talk about power shift? Where do you think it should go?
Right now,
I mean, the presidency.
Yes, I know. Yes, the presidency, to me, I believe who is most capable to have it should have it. That's what I believe. I don't believe in any power change from here, but we just need the best person to take the job.
Yeah, but you were talking about justice and things.
Yeah, justice and fairness also, but sometimes you can't go through justice and fairness and at the end of the day, you now get someone that is not capable. Because this zoning has really dealt with us in Nigeria, where you say we're zoning, but someone that is more capable cannot take the position because you feel that the person is not from another zone, and which Nigerians are not happy about. So I think it's time to look at the individual and sometimes try to wave zoning away.
That's an interesting angle, and I won't beat it because it's already sort of in the public domain and people are talking about it. I'm sure they're going to be talking about it a lot more. But let's talk about crime in Nigeria. You mentioned this earlier, things like insurgency, banditry, armed robbery, kidnapping. A lot of it, a lot of young people are involved in that. How would you propose getting them off things like that?
I think the best way for the government to try is to engage the youth, engage them, create programs for them, create opportunities for them. And I'm sure with that, drastically, you're going to see a lot of crime, the crime rate and a lot of things are going to change. Yeah,
but there are also more sort of white-collar crimes, aren't there? That many young people, young educated people who have opportunities are involved in, such as 419, cyber crime, that sort of thing. So that's not necessarily from a lack of education or joblessness, is it?
No, sometimes some of those people that are doing all those crimes sometimes is because they don't have the opportunity. While there are some that are just greedy. They want to, because the youth of these days, they don't believe in hard work. They just want to be rich overnight. So we have those people, and on the other side, we have those that because of frustration and because of they don't have what to do, that's why they go into crime.
Some would say that politics in Nigeria is a crime. What's your assessment of it?
I won't say politics in Nigeria is a crime. If you say politics in Nigeria is a crime, all over the world you say politics is a crime because politics is played the same way it's played all over the world.
Yeah, but did you have to compromise in your position when you got to get the position that you got to? Because that's the sense that people have, that you have to make a lot of compromises and some compromises that are immoral.
Mr. Charles, it depends on when you mean immoral, but sometimes even as a family man, you compromise in your house sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm talking about politics.
Yeah, in politics.
Did you have to compromise?
I did not compromise in any way. I did not compromise in any way that is negative, no. I did not.
Right, okay. That's very good. We're very impressed with that. So do you think there should, for instance, be, some people have talked about this, that there's talk about quotas for women in the political parties, that a certain number of positions should be reserved for them, a certain number of elected offices should be reserved for them. Do you think quotas should be allocated to young people in political parties and sort of elected positions?
I think yes, it's very important. They need to bring the youth in. Apart from that, even in the country, in the institution, they need to have something for the youths. The youths like jobs, compulsory like information, communication, technology. the youths right now from schools, the government needs to propagate that, start training the kids on ICT, because that's the future. So I think in the institution, not only in the political parties, they really need to key in the youths.
But is that taking place? I mean, is there a discussion? Are you, for example, because you're already in, are you pushing for that space to be opened up to bring in more young people?
Yeah, we the youths are pushing, yes. If you notice that the APC, the other time they had a seminar that they did that was headed by Barrister Ismail, he works with the president, and they were telling the president that they need the APC to key in more youths into the system. So that is already ongoing. And I believe with the kind of president we have, I believe very soon the youths are going to key in, especially in 2023.
Okay, I want to thank you very much indeed, Mathias Aliu, for joining us, and congratulations on winning your, I mean, it's been 2 years now, but I haven't seen you, so congratulations. And I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Nigeria.
That's it for this edition of the Arise interview. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and Lagos, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.